August 20th, 2008. What began as a routine flight would become one of Spain's deadliest aviation disasters. This is the story of Spanair Flight 5022, the final flight. August 20th, 2008. In Barcelona, the day began like any other. At El Prat Airport, passengers boarded Spanair Flight 5022, bound for Gran Canaria with a stopover in Madrid. Vacationers, families, and business travelers, all looking forward to an ordinary flight. The aircraft, a McDonnell Douglas MD-82, registration EC-HFP, a sturdy workhorse flown across the world. But this particular plane had a technical history, one that would soon prove fatal. The first leg was uneventful. JK 5022 touched down at Madrid-Barajas Airport just after midday. Passengers stretched their legs. Some stayed aboard. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, a system malfunction had quietly returned. In the cockpit, Captain Antonio and First Officer Francisco prepared for takeoff. The flight had already been delayed once due to a technical issue, but now all seemed clear. The cabin was ready. Final checks were made, but one critical detail went unnoticed. The Takeoff Warning System, or TAWS, had failed. A last line of defense, meant to alert the crew if the aircraft wasn't configured properly for takeoff. It didn't sound. The flaps and slats were never extended. At 2:15 p.m, final boarding was complete. Passengers settled into their seats. Some chatted, others stared out the window. No one aboard had any idea that a deadly chain of events had already begun. At 2:24 p.m, air traffic control cleared JK 5022 for takeoff from runway 36 left. The engines roared. The MD-82 surged forward. It lifted from the runway, briefly. Almost instantly, the plane struggled to climb. With retracted flaps, there wasn't enough lift. The stall warning sounded too late. The aircraft veered left, lost control, and slammed into the ground, just 16 seconds after liftoff. The plane disintegrated. Flames engulfed the wreckage. Black smoke rose above Madrid-Barajas Airport as emergency crews raced toward the crash site. Within minutes, the scale of the disaster became clear. Out of 172 people on board, only 18 survived. Most were critically injured. Survivors were pulled from twisted metal, covered in burns and dust. The scene was one of devastation and unimaginable grief. News broke across Spain. Families called the airline, desperate for information. Crowds formed at Madrid's airport. Many waited for hours, clinging to hope that would never come. The investigation revealed a haunting truth. The aircraft had taken off without deploying its flaps or slats, and the towels, meant to prevent exactly that, had failed, possibly due to unresolved maintenance issues. Spanair was already in financial trouble. The crash further damaged its image and raised urgent questions about safety standards and oversight. Less than 4 years later, the airline ceased operations. A year after the crash, a memorial was unveiled near the crash site. The names of 154 victims are etched in stone. Survivors and families gather each year to remember and reflect. For them, the tragedy never ended. JK5022 became one of Spain's worst air disasters. But its legacy lives on. Aviation safety improved. Procedures were re-examined. And the lives lost continue to remind us that no flight is ever truly routine. In memory of the 154 lives lost on flight JK5022, August 20th, 2008. You are not forgotten.